On this premiere episode of Communi-TEA, let's head to South Baltimore to Curtis Bay, where industrial meets residential, where the views from the highest peak are breathtaking and the people are warm and welcoming as summer rain. For Ray Conaway, Curtis Bay is home. Ray and many others like him are advocating to ensure their neighborhoods and communities are not forgotten and they are being heard.
I was having a conversation with my dad and I told him, I said, if you really want to get a true sense of the beauty of our city, you got to come off of our main streets and our main avenues and come deep into our neighborhoods where you see their individual uniqueness. I am a 23-year resident of Curtis Bay. The home that I live in was purchased by my mother when I was just 4 years old. We have a very diverse community here. We have Latinx residents, we have elderly residents, we have young residents, we have young professionals such as myself. And we all have a sense that when we contribute our individual talents, we can really, really make this neighborhood the best in the city. For those who remember, in December of 2021 is when the explosion of the CSX coal plant took place, just about 4 blocks from my house. We're living in the midst of a global pandemic, and to add the threat of environmental justice by way of cancer and respiratory issues is just an injustice that nobody should be dealing with at a time like this. Just a couple days ago, members of the community went to City Hall to testify before the council on some proposed legislation that would give the council some enforced regulation powers when it comes to CSX and other industrial areas as it relates to the co-mixing of those industrial operations and residents. So we've really been steadfast on that piece of how can we make sure that the health and the safety of residents are not in any way put in danger when we talk about industry and coal and all of those things, but we also have communities where residents live, work, and play.
In the midst of Curtis Bay, there is a garden, and when the sun rises and the rooster crows, it's bursting with life and supporting community in how they live, work, and play in necessary and unique ways.
Originally, it was just a couple of hives here back when this was kind of becoming overgrown forest. Fell in love with it. It was a great place to have my bees, and I fell in love with the community here. It led to me introducing chickens and ducks and goats and turkeys and sheep and a number of animals over the years. Well, I care for honeybees because I love to care for honeybees. Honey is just a cool byproduct, frankly. Our bees produce a generous amount of honey every year. Last year we had a record harvest of 100 gallons. It's easy to become a beekeeper, you just acquire the equipment and do it. However, it's really hard to become good at it. I remember my first years and the losses I took. It was typical for me to lose about 1/3 of my hives every year. We lost 1 out of 15 hives last winter, and we lost 1 out of 16 the year before. So we've become very good at managing our losses. There is a miasma of issues facing pollinators. There's foreign pests such as the varroa mite, which are incredibly deadly and will slowly kill hives. Habitat destruction, where we just mow down all the clover and things for them to eat. Furthermore, we have monocultures in agriculture where you'll just have miles of blueberries and they can't live off of just one particular plant source for their nectar and pollen, no more than we can. A significant amount of the food that we eat are pollinated by them or native pollinators. So they have a tremendous impact on our food supply, as well as our ecosystem. We're trying to tackle and morph to what our community needs us to be. Our closest grocery store is a 35-minute walk. Here we produce about 3,800 eggs a year, which go out to the community through our pantry there on the curb. We have plots which are available every year to our gardeners to supplement their tables. We also produce about 2 to 3 tons of food ourselves, mostly potatoes. And we've even tackled other issues such as environmental justice and fighting against the incinerator here. And in addition, because we're in a data desert as well, we also provide free wireless internet to the community. I love Curtis Bay because it endures. I come from a community, originally in northeastern Ohio, that has a lot of challenges, and it's a lot like Curtis Bay. It's a former industrial port that I feel the city around it forgets about. Curtis Bay and its neighbor Brooklyn, they get a bad rap, but the people here are so incredibly sweet. Vandalism has been a rare thing in here at the garden, and because we've approached it with love and service, they've treated us well back.
This is a story of women who found healing, nourishment, and restoration in a building on Pennington Avenue in Curtis Bay. Through one act of service, one act of love, from the Filbert Street Garden, a few blocks just above.
Where to begin with Hunt's Honey?
There was 10 homes that burnt out in the neighborhood, and at that point the well knew we wanted to do a social enterprise. Didn't know what that looked like. After the fire, we were at community association meeting. The bee guy from Filbert Street Garden was up there talking about his bees, and it was a first year for his bees, and for some reason he had this overabundance of honey.
And when he said that, I kept hearing, a land flowing with milk and honey.
That's it, a land flowing with milk and honey. So our first honey was from Filbert Street Garden, and the first product was a lotion bar. And I was the one that created that. Just experimenting at home with kids running around like craziness. It's just progressed from there. We're like on 4 years almost now.
So we have honey, and then we have many bath and beauty products. So we have over 20 products right now. So we would have lip moisturizer, sugar scrubs, wash bars. We have 8 different wash bars. Every product 100% is made by survivors. It is not a social enterprise where you have 2 or 3 employees. It's 100%, from soup to nuts to shipping.
Since 2020, I have been a beekeeper for Hunt's Honey.
A little bit of everything, packaging, honey, making them laugh.
We are a community of women being transformed through long-term relationships, practical programs, and the most important thing is the healing power of love, and we believe that comes through community. We do that through a core life development program where we give women opportunity who are coming out of places of trauma, whether they were maybe trafficked, abused, addicted, somebody who suffered from generational poverty and the things that come along with that.
I came here from a transition home from day one. Walking in this door, I wish I'd come in, well, I do come in every day, you know, to work in the other opportunities, the groups that they have, programs. I'm in love.
The lies that, you're told, like in generational poverty. In poverty, you can get help, but you can't get but so much because they'll stop helping you. And you get in this fear of, am I going to be able to make it? A whole world has been opened up for me, as far as education, as well as opportunities for employment, gaining that knowledge and skills. So whether here or in the world, I will have something to offer.
You say, why Curtis Bay? And I would say, why not? The human cry for connection and to have purpose and to have dignity is uniform among all of us. So why not be in a community where there's a lack of those things? And many people can't imagine it. They don't imagine a different future. So we get to be here and help that. Why not?
I have lived in Brooklyn, Curtis Bay, since I was 17. That stereotype that we're all drug addicts, we're all, lowlifes, that we're all just up to no good. We all have potential. It's just how we're fed, how we're encouraged, and how we are treated and spoken to. This is that opportunity. I pray every day that God speaks through me to encourage that next person to see how much they are loved, how they are important, that their journey and their existence matters.
These ladies, including me, including Sarah, including our management team, we're going to make Baltimore proud, and that's exactly what we're doing.